Alright, do we have any text? Does Lilith have any friends? Oh. Oh. I've been dreading the last month and a bit to text you, but I need closure. I can't put everything into a text, and it wouldn't feel right doing so. 8 days ago. Ooh. Uh-oh. I called it though. Oh my god. I've been trying to get a bit of closure myself. I've spoken to Mari and Tom. That was nice. Would love to catch up with you. I call her my queen. How has Lilith been? What's her mood right now? I think the last time Lilith was around, she spoke to Mari and Tom, and like things are really good and positive with Mari. Her conversation with Tom was like good, but like Tom is very clearly like bitter and I guess maybe like resentful or whatever towards Lilith. I don't think he believes that Lilith had anything. I don't think he believes Lilith when she said that she had nothing to do with Andi Jones getting kidnapped. Because I think Andi, when she got ocean dumped, I think she chose to only remember that it was Miguel and not the entirety of CG. I don't really know what happened there, but I think some people believe that Lilith was involved in that somehow. Because I think Psychata asked Lilith too, but anyways. Lilith, I think, is feeling a bit better than what she was, but still feeling lost, I think. How have you been? I've been okay. Feeling a little bit lost, to be honest. Is this weird to say to someone? Feeling... Oh my god. How to not be cringe. Challenge impossible. Oh, fuck it. Feeling a bit lost lately since everything. Don't really have much of a direction these days. Okay, whatever. Oh, Manny? Yes. I'm so annoyed because he never actually got back to me. 2 months ago, he fucking drops this bomb out of nowhere and then disappears. This could have been fucking insane if something actually happened here. Like, I had so many thoughts in my head, like, oh my god, what if, like, Manny, like, hit up Lilith and wanted to, like, conspire against the HOA and take them down? Like, oh my god. Because, like, if he went that path, I had, like, so many ideas and plans. Oh my god, it would have been... Manny, if you were out there, log the fuck on. Holy shit. I loved role-playing with Manny, man. He was so funny. He was so nice to Lilith, too.
Have you and Nico been doing the thing that we talked about, or
no? No. We haven't really... Oh, I just went flying on my window.
I woke up yesterday because I came to check on gas and stuff because we weren't because somebody said like we were out, and I just wanted to double check. I saw I think it was a 22B leaving the gas station yesterday.
Okay.
Like a black one.
Yeah.
I was like, I never see that car ever.
Yeah, 22Bs are rare nowadays, to be honest.
Yeah.
The last time I seen a 22B, I think was fucking probably during the Hydra War, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's Flippy that owns one. Yeah, I remember because that's the car they took Ant in. They fucking kidnapped Ant in a 22B.
Jesus. Have you even like seen Lilith around this storm when you've been around, or no?
No. I haven't seen Lilith. I haven't seen Lilith since she fucking left the HOA.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I haven't even spoken to her since she left.
No,
So
same here, same here. I mean, I've gotten like, I think like 2 texts, but like that's it.
saying what?
Just like periodic texts. I don't know. One was like, I think one was like when she left, and then like there was like, I don't know, like another one like fucking, I don't even know, like a month later or something.
Like just want to let you know, like blah 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 kind of text.
That was the initial text. I can't even remember what the last text was. Like I said, I haven't even like I haven't talked to her in like a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Mari still talks to her. Mari's like cool with her. I think she's hung out with her like since then. So
I'm surprised. I'm surprised to hear that, considering like when we heard about everything that she did and how distraught Mario was when she was with us in that room. That she felt like she was betraying her best friend and stuff, and it's just like I'm surprised that.
But that's the thing. At the end of the day, they're best friends, right? So it's like it felt shitty. She felt shitty because she had to do that to her best friend, but
yeah,
it was the right choice.
She was doing it for the betterment of the gang. So.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think. I mean, Mari didn't. If anything, it would have been Lilith that hated Mari, but I don't think.
But that's what I mean. It's just like.
Nah, I don't think Lilith wouldn't have held that. I don't think, especially to Mari.
I don't know, man. I don't know how Lilith's brain works. To be honest, it's she made the decisions that she made, and that's what happened. It's just I just wish I could have gotten a little bit of more closure, because considering I was somebody who worked close with her in the HOA like all the time, especially during her off. So me and Tom worked with her all the time.
I don't know. Send her a text and see fucking,
Yeah.
I mean, at least you can get some text. Maybe you can. I mean, if you're gonna be around this time, you could probably fucking meet up with her.
Probably.
I mean, that's one thing I always wanted to do was get her side, because although she did fuck up, right? I still didn't like everybody just fucking flipping fucking sides real fucking quick, from like praising Lilith to saying, fuck Lilith, I never liked her, shit like this, like just all of a sudden like real fucking.
See, for me, it wasn't even that. For me, like it wasn't even that I never liked her. It's just I was just fucking devastating to hear that she fucking did what she did.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's different for me because I've done bigger things than that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for the follows, by the way.
Definitely been through a lot more in comparison,
Razreal,
but obviously
and
this was
Butter.
like,
thank you for the follows, guys.
This was like big in terms of like something that you would never expect one of us to do, I guess, at the time. But either way, I just either way, like I get what you're saying. Like there were definitely people who were just like, oh, I fucking hate her, but it's like I don't know, maybe these people just had certain grievances with her.
I mean, to be fair, I'll say this. I wouldn't say it's not like she snitched. I'm gonna be honest. I think what she did, I think the reason why she went to that meeting in the first place was, I think it was real innocent shit. I think she probably was just bored at the time and wanted to get tea. I'm gonna be real.
That's what part of me thinks too. It's just like
that's
still,
like I think
like,
it was
why?
like the most innocent shit. Yeah, but it's like one of those things you just don't think that's like, you don't know it's gonna build into what it did until it does. You know what I mean? Like you can never expect something so small, like just even being in that meeting, even if you don't say a single word, to build into such a thing that it did. You know what I mean? But it did. So it's like kind of hard to like it's very easy to say like should have done this and that, like hindsight, but like it's tough judgment in the moment. Probably like at the end of the day, like I always said, like was the decision stupid? Like did you make a stupid move? Yeah, but like I don't know. And I think the rest of this shit, like her having beef with Ant and shit, I mean that's just always been a thing, and that's just a difference of opinions with leadership. And as somebody that's consistently fought against leadership like myself,
Yeah,
I
mean,
can't say.
you've always been somebody to voice your opinion no matter what it is, you know. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't know. Maybe it's like, I don't blame her because I can kind of see a lot of the things. Like, why she did certain things, right? Why she didn't agree with certain things. Why she had, like, certain relationships with certain, you know, high command members, you know? It's a tough thing,
I mean,
you know? It's a complicated situation. Like, I think it's very layered. I wouldn't say just Lilith was, like some people were, the way they were talking about Lilith was like crazy in my opinion, considering that you know, 1 week prior these guys would have been talking the world about Lilith, and then all of a sudden they turn their backs on her. Regardless of if somebody does something wrong like that, you know, I think people make mistakes, and that's how people grow, man.
Yeah, like, you know, I just want my closure because I felt like, I mean, obviously a lot of us didn't really get it. I want to hear like why she made the decision she made, like, you know, what made her, you know, feel certain ways about us and like the group, like, you know, because obviously, like, I mean, I get it, like, there's always going to be ups and downs, like, within a group. It's just that I guess the biggest thing was, like, obviously, like, not, you know, talking with others and just ranting to people outside of the group, which, I mean, I get it. It's sometimes it's easier, but I guess when
Brindle,
like,
thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it, bro.
when it's game-related stuff, it's like those kind of things need to be, you know, hush-hush, you know? Because at the end of the day, like, some of that shit's, like, not really, like, there's a lot of big stuff that gets talked about, and it's really none of other people's business. Like, and at the end of the day, like, you know, some people have changed and some people haven't. Some people are still going their certain ways of certain things and whatnot, but, you know, that just kind of, I guess it just is what it is, you know? But,
I mean, part of me about, like, not hearing the closure, like, that's also something that kind of bugged me about the whole situation was, like everybody was close to just, like, fold over and just go from, like, loving Lilith to, like, say, fuck her, I never liked her, blah, 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 but, like, you know, all these people were there when she was, like, saying her goodbyes, and nobody actually asked for her point of view. And that, baffled me. It's like, how did nobody that was at that scene?
I wasn't even there when that happened. I just, like, I think I was to the boiling point of where I was just like, I don't want to be there in case, like, something, like, super fucking, like, drastic happens, and I was just like, I need to somehow just talk with her on my own or something, and just like understand, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, certain people within the gang had close relationship with her, others not so much, and for those who were, like, close with her or worked with her, did whatever, obviously those people like myself deserve to know certain things, and obviously
my stutters are back, bro. Look at this. Holy fuck.
It's just something I've been dreading for, like, the last month and a bit, and obviously with the break a lot of us has had, I feel like now is maybe a good time to just kind of, you know, get it out there and just kind of figure things out together, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'll be real with you, Luis, just because, like, I know I haven't really been 100% with you right now, but tomorrow, that's why I'm gonna be around this time.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
I'm gonna talk with her tomorrow. I did text her. I guess Mari and Tom have talked with her, from my understanding, at least what she told me.
That's odd that he would.
I just told her that I want my closure. If you were planning to be around this time tomorrow, if you want, I could ask her if it's okay if you come. But that's entirely up to you.
I'll meet with her on my own and just kind of go from there, man. It's cool. Just do your thing, bro.
Yeah,
do your thing. Get the closure you need.
Yeah, like, I'm not pulling no shit. Like, I've already like told her, like, I'm not trying anything. Like, I just want to talk.
I mean, who's gonna try what? Like, what's gonna happen at this point, bro?
I don't know. Maybe she's just worried about certain people. Who knows? I'm not gonna fucking do anything. I just simply want to talk. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to talk to somebody who I considered a close friend of mine.
Holy
Maybe we
fuck,
weren't, like,
my
you
game
know,
is dying.
fist bumping, hugging, and shooting the shit all the time with each other, but, you know, I consider her a close friend to the point of where I was fucking, you know, working with her all the time. considering I put in the hours with that op as well. And, you know, it kind of just felt like everything just kind of got thrown away because of what happened. And obviously, that separation, I guess, from everything kind of left a bit of a mark, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
So, yeah, I'm going to do that tomorrow night. But did you want me to let her know that you're looking to talk, or?
No. I'll just text her. I mean, I've already kind of talked to her to some degree about. I've already talked to her before and said like I would like to get your story. Like that's like when she initially got kicked. So it's always been a thing. It's just a matter of like actually meeting up with her, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess I was just I just didn't know like if anybody had talked with her, and then when she told me that Mari and Tom had spoken with her, then
yeah, they've been talking to her. Mari talks to her like quite a bit. I think Mari like hangs out with her, you know, like it's like they're good. It's not just like that they talk, like they hang out type shit.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I don't know because I'm not around this time, so I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
Right. And like I never see Mari unless like she decides to wake up during like late you know, previous storm. If I'm even around then, right? So.
Oh my game, I'm just gonna park.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I just really hope she just doesn't say anything that's gonna make me like pop a blood vessel, you know.
I mean, like what? What could she even say that
I don't know.
Like that?
I don't know because it's just based on what we heard, like what we were told, like in that room, compared to obviously like you know her point of view, right? Saying things how like we never had her back, that we didn't care about her and stuff like that, which is false. We definitely did.
Yeah, but we were told. The way I look at it is we were told the worst version of that story in terms of like people are always going to tell stories that are biased to a certain degree.
Agreed.
And that's going to be the most that's probably going to be the most biased story against her. You know what I mean? So it can't be any worse than that story unless she like my new speech 1000s you type shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
It can't be like any worse than what we've already heard type shit. So it's like, if anything, it will probably add like maybe more clarification to certain things. Is how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because I think the biggest thing it's like, I think my biggest concerns, I guess, with the whole thing is like, you know, why she decided to go to that meeting. One, did she have any sort of involvement in kidnapping Ant? And, you know, did she want things done to Ant? You know?
I would doubt it. I'm gonna be real. I would doubt that she...
And personally, I don't think she would either. And the reason I think that is because it's like, it's one thing to butt heads with another person, but to butt heads with a person to the point where you're that petty to feel like you need to torture her, ocean dump her, etc. I don't know.
No, bro. I don't know. This was the whole problem about the wars. Everybody tried to act like, paint a narrative that shit was about Lilith. The only reason why Ant got taken was because of Lilith, bro. Like, that's what pissed me off the whole thing.
We know it was more to it.
But that was like the main thing. I think the bonus was like Miguel was there and he's like, oh, I can get a couple extra shots in because they fucked over Lilith type shit. But the main goal was the whole Simone shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And as much as like, you know,
y'all really expect her to tell the truth? No.
I knew at some point it was going to happen regardless, I think. So.
But I respect her to tell her side of the story.
It's just, I don't know.
And that's how you kind of find the middle ground,
I don't want to keep
right?
on about it because obviously, you know, it's
not about
it's
that.
Still a lot. It's still a lot to bring up, and obviously, I think we're all trying to move on from it, right? It's just, I think for a lot of us, we just need that additional closure with Lilith in order to finally fully move on from it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just back in Deer Park. I'm just driving around in the free crawler.
Oh, that's all right. Well, I'm just cruising right now. I'm probably gonna go to bed soon, so I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow then.
All right, man. I'll see you then.
Okay. All right, Sue.
Good night, dude.
It's not about talking to her and getting the quote-unquote truth. It's not about that. It's the fact that the high command that Lilith went against, right, is going to tell a biased story to their side, and Lilith is going to tell a biased story to her side. So there's going to be two biased sides of the story. Depending on how biased it is, obviously it's like it's not just a flat thing, right? It could be very biased, it could be very like a tiny bit of bias, right? Either way, there's going to be two sides, and then somewhere in the middle is kind of more so going to be the middle ground. It's going to be the actual story. You know what I mean? It's not creating a third narrative. It's about finding the actual truth. Everybody's going to tell a story that's going to make them look the best. It's always going to happen, bro. That's natural. Lilith is going to tell a story that's going to benefit her the most, but High Command is also going to tell a story that's going to benefit them the most, right? Now Lilith might be more biased on her story than High Command is, right? But there's going to be always some level of biasness, right? Even if the person's not purposely even trying to be biased, like they don't have to be biased like maliciously, but by them telling the story from their point of view is automatically going to have a biasness because it's going to be from one point of view. So they're not going to have the full story on everything. You think Ant and Julio and them know exactly everything that happened from the other side of the coin? No, they don't. Just like Lilith doesn't know everything that was said from the other side of the coin either. You know what I mean? Is that them purposely trying to be like maliciously like fucking biased? No. That's just them telling the story how they know it. And that like further helps you solve or like get a better picture of the actual story that happened. Because like somebody could say, yeah, this guy went radio silent when I was trying to talk to him, right? And it's like, oh my god, okay, this guy like, that's so fucked up. This guy gave no comms. And then you go talk to the other guy, and he's like, no, I talked on radio, but it was scuffed, so he couldn't hear me. It's like all of a sudden, oh, okay, so now I understand the story. So this guy tried to talk to radio, it was scuffed, the other guy didn't hear him, so he thought he was getting no comms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, you need like both sides of the puzzle to like actually paint the full picture. But yeah, it's not about Luis thinking that the High Command lied to him and if he talks to Lilith, that's gonna be the ultimate truth. No, man. It's just getting two sides of a story, bro. And then making Luis's like trying to understand the situation then based on Luis knowing kind of how both sides were thinking, which is ultimately gonna be the most accurate point of view. Him getting both sides of the story and then kind of mashing them together to try to like understand everything is always going to be more accurate than just one side. There's always two stories. It's not even the fact that there's two sides. It's two sides and then the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? That's what I was just saying to Chai. It's like both sides are going to be biased, right? People are going to take what I'm saying as, like, Luis thinking that High Command lied to him. Like, it's nothing like that, bro. The fact is, the story we were given, we weren't given the whole story. We weren't given what Lilith was thinking, right? So, to understand where she was coming from. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when Luis is going to do it. It's kind of been something that Luis has forgotten about. So, it's not really, like... The only time I would see it maybe happening is... if like Luis sees like Lilith tweet out or something and he's like, oh fuck, Lilith is around type shit. Damn.
Okay, let's not have the whole dump truck out while meeting Simon. The last time I spoke to the HOA, it was Mari and Tom. And I didn't use the RP bars because I figured the conversations with those two were going to be chill, which they were for the most part. Simon might be a little bit more dramatic, I think. I need that. Those roleplay bars, chat. Oh. Where to meet Simon? Honestly, I feel like having a meeting at the dam would be nice. Doesn't want to do Mirror Park. Sus. Observatory? I don't know if Simon will shoot Lilith. That'll be interesting. Why would he? I don't know. Simon's a bit hard to predict sometimes. There are a few people in the HOA that are like kind of like pretty easy to guess on how they'll react to stuff. Simon, I'm not too sure. The HOA cards through. My God. I thought he was shirtless for a second. What is he wearing?
Let's go.
You look like you've come back from vacation, or you're about to go on one.
I'm just enjoying the summer vibes. That's all.
That's good. He looks like he's enjoying the summer vibes, the sad walk. You okay?
I don't know.
You haven't been on like a coke bender, like Rod does sometimes, right?
How are you? What is the deal with this life and vagrant email? I prefer to send
Maybe
a letter
one.
with my nudie pictures in it. It is so much more personal. Hey, honey, you look great. Hey, what's up? Hola.
Simon, do you mind if I like punch a local out because?
Right now, idiot.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
Oh, after she said that, go for it.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hey there, Fred.
I sent some nude photos to agents around.
Stop telling me about your nudes! It's so hard to have a serious conversation here.
Well, guess we could start with you telling me your side of the story.
Sure. I suppose it would be easier if I know what you think the story is. Or should I just start from the very beginning?
I have my thoughts, but like I said, I'd like to hear your side first.
Sure. My side to what, though, exactly?
Everything with the whole going to see Snow, why you went, all the stuff you did, said, everything.
So, I have no excuse for going to that meeting with Snow. I don't have one at all. I'm not going to make one up. I just went because I wanted to, Simon. That's all there is to that, really. I mean, I could tell you that I was sick and tired of the Simones and all of their bullshittery that they put on this fucking city and the people in it. I could give you some fucking crazy excuse, but nope, I just went because I fucking wanted to, Simon. And the truth is, no one would have really known about it unless Snow had snitched. And by snitched, I mean do his job, I suppose. So I went to that meeting. And then, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours later I went to sleep. I wake up next day, and I guess Miguel had posted all over Twitter what he'd done, that he had turned Michael in or whatever. My crime at that point was being his girlfriend. That was it. My crime was being his girlfriend, just like my crime was being Nick's girlfriend. You know? Whatever they do, whatever my boyfriends do, it's, you know, I'm also responsible, I guess. I mean, yeah, I went to that meeting. Does that make me a bad person, Simon? Going to a fucking meeting to rat out a fucking terrorist who deserved to either be fucking dead or put behind bars? I don't give a fuck about the Simones, Simon. I just don't. The shit that Nick did to me as a boyfriend, the things that he said about me, that's just like shitty boyfriend shit, right? But this whole faking Michael's death shit, people were devastated. And Nick, for so long, pretended to be devastated. I understand that he had to keep a secret. But I looked after that fucking guy. He fake cried, he fake vomited, he faked having fucking meltdowns left and right. Even when we were alone, he was doing this shit. I had to tell Flossie that her boyfriend was dead. I had to hear her sobbing on the phone when I told her. And it wasn't even fucking true. The Lost were torn apart. And yes, they kind of brought it on themselves. But for what? For some fucking pretty boy terrorist. Who the fuck cares? So yes, Simon, I went to that meeting with Snow. And you know what? I'll do it again.
And you had no excuse for it.
No.
You just went because you were feeling bored one day, and you're just like, yeah, sure, babe, I'll come with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you know that he was going to do that?
Yeah. And trust me, I would have preferred that he didn't do that.
So you never thought that maybe, oh, well, maybe I probably shouldn't go. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe I should stay out of this.
I mean, maybe. But I'll still do it again.
Listen, it's one thing being there, all right? It's one thing fucking being there, but it's another thing to actually do it. Now, do I think that you actually said a word? Probably not. You were just there listening.
Yep. I didn't say a word.
Which I guess is one thing, but at the same time, it's like you're still there. You've probably been identified. So therefore, you put a target on your back just for being there.
Yeah, but the thing is, Simon...
We would have done anything to make sure that nothing happened to you. And just like, you know, I did what I could with the whole Dundee situation, which I have questions about too.
Yeah, sure.
But continue.
I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying?
You said that you do it all over and over. You do it all over
Oh,
again.
yeah, I would. Fuck the Simone, Simon. Like, I'm fully aware that the things that I do can come back on my gang. Fully aware. Just like Andi knew that when she was dating Denzel. Or married to Denzel, even. If she went and did shit with him, which she did, it never came back on the HOA. At least not from my memory, not when I was around at least.
Because half the time, because majority of the time, if he was around, they were doing stuff together. And the only time we'd ever get a call is if they were in trouble and they needed help to get out of something. But that's if they needed help. Most of the time, none of the stuff, whatever they did together, I don't even know what kind of stuff they truly did together in terms of like getting arrested, other than, you know, maybe Denzel shooting a cop every now and then. But at the same time, they kept all that stuff separate, right?
Yeah.
Which I get.
And I had every intention of doing the exact same because no one knew, Simon. No one fucking knew. Just me, just Miguel, just Snow. No one fucking knew. Everyone has their secrets. Everyone has a lot of bad secrets. But they're a secret. Okay? So yes, I went to that
Sure.
meeting. I was fucking bored. I don't give a fuck. And yeah, I would do it again. 'Cause it seems like it kind of benefited Michael anyway. He's walking around scot-free, I suppose, so... So yeah, I went, and the next day, I woke up, and I'm getting fucking bombarded about Miguel. Because at that point, no one knew, Simon. No one knew. It was a secret that I intended to keep. And if it had ever gotten out through cops talking, then I would start shooting cops. Whatever. But people were pissed only because I'm dating Miguel. And this is where things get kind of fucked up because unfortunately I brought this on myself by not realizing what Andi was doing. So I wake up, she calls me, demands to know what the fuck's going on with Miguel and all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, we're dating, fucking cares. Like, I know that the Miguel and the HOA have history. I was there when all of this happened. I know that Miguel is a fucking dickhead quite frequently. But Simon, he doesn't hide it.
You're right, he doesn't fucking hide it.
You know, like, I would take a fucking asshole that doesn't hide it any day over a guy who thinks he's all that, thinks he's so good and great.
Listen,
and
whatever
everybody loves him.
Whatever relationship bullshit you had with Nick, that's between you and Nick. I could give two fucks about that kind of shit, right? The fact of the matter is that
Fair.
your boyfriend took our fucking OG, tortured her, drilled fucking holes into his hands, and thought that we were just going to fucking fold and not try to do anything about it, especially when he was taunting us over fucking Potter.
No, I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah, we know he did it on purpose.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I had absolutely nothing to do with. Like, I wasn't there. I didn't know he was doing it. I wasn't even awake. I didn't want him to do anything. Tom doesn't believe me, but I had nothing to do with that. And to be honest, are you
you blame him,
surprised
though?
when you guys were hunting me?
I wasn't around for that, but I mean, can you blame people?
No, but like, it doesn't make sense. You know, like, you can get mad at me and Miguel for taking Andi, but, like, you guys were also hunting me. Like, no one's the better person here.
What do you mean? What do you mean by no one's the better person?
You guys were hunting me. Why? To get back at Miguel.
Okay. Just like how you were hunted for getting back at Nick, right?
Oh, I wasn't doing this to get back at Nick.
No. I'm talking about in previous situations where you were kidnapped, you were tortured.
Oh, by Lizzie?
Because yes, because you were the second closest thing at the time, right? That was their excuse, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Just put it this way, Lilith. If it was any other person in the fucking game, Nico, Tom, Luis, maybe myself, that was in your shoes, we'd be 6 feet in the fucking ground already.
Why? Because I ratted out Michael Simone?
The fact that when the thing is, I understand like the term snitching is very twisted these days.
Oh, please,
right?
Simon. Everyone fucking snitches in this city. Everyone fucking snitches, man.
Everybody, people snitch to their own fucking degree. But I think that in terms of something like this was big. This was something big. Where
he's not HOA as much as Andi says so.
People were fucking involved in this shit. And
they didn't have to be, Simon.
Very lucky that day. No. I'm not even talking about that. There were people who had done stuff for Michael, right? Yes?
Sure.
Okay. Now, because of that, from a law enforcement fucking perspective, things would open back up because they know he's alive, Lilith. Think about it. What if people in the HOA had done stuff for him? As an example, this is just me a hypothetical, but let's just say as an example, let's say I did something for him, right? And then all of a sudden, oh look, he's back alive, but there was a fucking charge against me because of things because of things he did that I was an accomplice to. All those fucking cases open back up. All those people get fucked. Did you ever think about that? What if you did something?
I know, Simon. I had the Diamond Dogs grill me for it. I know.
Right. There's a lot of things you have to think about in these kinds of situations, because like fuck me, I worked for the fucking guy for a billboard company. Did I meet him once or twice? Did I know he was a fucking terrorist? No. But imagine. Put it this way: what if my name was still on the fucking billboard company? You think I would have got picked up for something? You think I would have got picked up and tortured and questioned?
I know, Simon. Miguel was one of them. Miguel was one of them.
Would I get picked up and questioned? Do you think I would get picked up and questioned? Because I sure fucking think so. I would.
Yeah, probably.
Right. And I'd still fucking get tossed in the ocean.
I understand that me going to that meeting was a bad idea. But I would still do it again, Simon.
Still do it again and not want to be with us anymore.
Yes, I do not want to be with the HOA.
Well, I'm so glad you think so highly of myself and the others.
Oh no.
Just like in your text, oh, you're not gonna murder me, are you? Why? So I can relive the bullshit that we had to do? Nah, no thank you. I'm not trying to do a fucking rerun anytime soon.
I don't think lowly of the HOA, Simon. Believe it or not, I still talk positively about you guys. Oh, I don't like Andi. If that's what you are trying to get out of me. I don't like Andi.
I understand you and Andi butt heads. That's fine. That's your guys' thing.
Yeah.
All right. I don't really fucking care. But you have to admit that when you guys are the ones constantly butting heads, it kind of gives you a bit of a motive. Because you were the ones who were constantly talking about the stuff. You were the ones who were butting heads all the time. Therefore, you don't like each other. Why you don't like each other, I don't fucking know. Maybe because you just don't like her leadership style? Maybe you just feel like she
Oh, I can go for days talking about why I don't like Andi. I tried Simon with her. I really, really did. So let's go back a little bit. Andi calls me.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping in mind, no one knew Simon. It was a secret that I intended to keep to myself until, unfortunately, me being naive as I am, fell for Andi's shit where she pretended she knew everything. How I knew that? No idea. It didn't make any sense to me. How did she know? Miguel snitched like 12 hours before then. I had gone to sleep and woken up, and somehow she knew everything. And boy, do I regret being as stupid as I fucking was and believing her. Because I self-snitched on myself. And then she was pissed, understandably, whatever. But then she implied that the Diamond Dogs knew everything too. She didn't tell me that she didn't know that I snitched. She was just pissed because I'm dating Miguel. That was it. So I told her the truth because I don't fucking lie, Simon. I don't fucking lie. Sure, I would have probably would have lied if she'd asked if I went to that meeting. I probably would have lied then. Well, believe what?
I don't know if I believe the only reason she's hating on you is because you're dating somebody.
Oh no, that time she was pissed because I was dating Miguel. At that time, she was grilling me for that. Like, she called me because she was pissed, basically. But she lied and said that she knew everything or whatever. And I told her everything because I thought she already knew. And she told me that I had to make it up to the Diamond Dogs and make things right and fix the relationship because Reed was furious. And then I don't know why I even did that in the first place. She gave a fuck about her relationship with Reed more than that she gave a fuck about her own gang member. Like, if the Diamond Dogs were pissed for what I did, then either have my back or fucking don't. Why did she not tell them, hey, HOA have nothing to do with what she did. If you want to fuck her up, you know, go for it. And Andi could have very well have told me that. Hey, Lilith, you fucked up. We'll back you up if you want. But I think you should be on your own here. And I would have said, yep, understood, OG. And I would have fucking, like, met with them and dealt with it that way. But no, she made me meet them and apologize and explain myself. Do you know how fucked up that is, Simon? Making your gang member go to another gang and apologize? Either have my fucking back or don't. So I went to this fucking meeting. I thought the Diamond Dogs knew because she said they knew. Or heavily implied it, either or. So I went down there. And I was going to go alone, but Paddy decided to come with me. Or I can't remember if I asked him or he offered, either or. Paddy came with me. Because he had he has history with the Diamond Dogs, Reed. So I go there, and it was Cy Carter and Reed. And I started talking, and it turns out they didn't fucking know I was at the meeting either, Simon. They didn't know. They were pissed because I'm dating Miguel. They were just pissed I was dating Miguel. They didn't fucking know, Simon.
That doesn't make sense to me.
What doesn't? That the fact they didn't know?
No, the whole them just being mad at you because you're dating Miguel doesn't make sense to me.
Who, Reed? Who'd you say?
The Diamond Dogs being mad at you for dating Miguel doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I was confused too. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, people can date who the fuck they want. I might judge them a little bit, but like, getting pissed? Like that? But Andi told me how important her relationship with Reed is. They're super close, I suppose. Even though we've had multiple run-ins with Sai and Lizzie doing stupid shit in Mirror Park, kidnapping me, torturing me, you know, all the dumb shit they kept on pulling. But, you know, Andy's relationship with Reed was priority, I suppose. So, yeah, I went down there. I told them everything. They didn't know everything. I apologized.
Well,
It was
hold
fucking
on,
humiliating.
Go back. Are you comparing the importance of her relationship during the time when everybody tried to find you?
No. I'm just saying, like, the only reason why she sent me down there is because she wanted to protect her relationship with Reed. That was it. Because apparently Reed wanted to kill me or hurt me or fuck me up in some way. Or... Yeah, Reed wanted to fuck me up, and he was like, if you don't do it, Andi, I will, or some shit. Like, he told her that if she didn't do it, then he would, or something. And Andi didn't want to hurt me or something, so she told me to try and make things right with them or whatever. I don't remember exactly, like, word for word what was said. It's been a long time, Simon.
You're right. It has been a while. I get it.
But the fact is, she didn't know.
I feel like in that situation, she wanted to take more of a diplomatic route.
She's fucking shit at being diplomatic, Simon.
Why do you think that?
If your gang member does something stupid, you either deal with it yourself by punishing them, or you back them the fuck up. Pick one. Treating me like I'm a fucking school kid that bullied someone and I'm being made to apologize. Like, what is that? She's a gang leader, Simon, not a high school teacher. Sorry, elementary teacher. Back your fucking member up or don't. And if she didn't back me up, I would not have been surprised in the slightest. They were angry at me. In fact, I don't think even Sai was angry. It was just Reed. He was angry because I'm in a relationship with the guy that ratted out his fucking terrorist boyfriend. Like, yeah, I get it. I can understand him being pissed off at me. Like, whoa, what do I see in Miguel? I'm sure everybody thinks that about me.
Well, unfortunately, when it comes to that, I mean, listen, I don't like talking about relationships. I really fucking don't. But I remember when Hydra was living on the block, or they living on the cul-de-sac, and all the shit going down, and you weren't really talking with them much. Or as close as you were before. He was giving you lip all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, Simon, is that I know him that well. It didn't fucking matter. Like, Miguel feeds off reactions. Like, literally, every time he did a boost in Mirror Park during these hours, and it was just like me or Mario awake, I would go there and see who's shooting. And it would be Miguel, and of course, he'd never called. And then I would just be like, all right, see ya. You know, like, the more you press Miguel about shit that doesn't even matter, or give him a reaction, he won't stop. And I tried telling you guys over and over, stop giving him attention. Just ignore him and he'll get bored and move on. That's just how it is. It's always been that way.
Yeah, and eventually we did.
Yeah, and look what
At the
happened.
end of the day,
moved.
and at the end of the day of that, yeah. But at the end of the day, in that situation though, like especially with the boost stuff, we were just doing what we were told to do. You know, and
Yeah,
it got
no.
to the point. It got to the point where we said we just need to stop fucking checking in on people. But obviously, you know, we get it. It's a turf thing. It's a respect thing. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, are we really doing anything that's causing an issue? Are they really doing anything that's causing an issue?
No,
But
the only thing that they
regardless,
did
it's
wrong
just-
then was, like, whenever we tried to push, they would, like, shoot locals and shit, and then it would, like, scare them all away. That was, like, the only thing that was a problem back then.
Right, and you got people like Holden kindly asking them to like stop, and then him getting pooed as disrespect.
Yeah.
I still don't understand today what Miguel's beef is with us. I really fucking don't. I don't know what we ever fucking did.
I don't think he ever really had beef. I think that's just how he is. The only thing I could ever really think of is that Sis brought him into the HOA to try and like toughen the members up, teach them. So he got brought in as the tough guy, I suppose, because I don't know, Sis is a bit of a softie. So he wanted Miguel to do the dirty work, I suppose. And I don't think anyone liked him for that because he was the new guy bossing people around. And that's why he left, I think.
Yeah, but if that's the excuse to hold a grudge of potentially that fucking long, I think that's a little
Nah, I don't think he held a
childish,
grudge. I just think he's a shit stirrer, and that's it.
I don't think I'm ever gonna like the guy. That's fine. And you know, you do what you want with your life, Lilith. I don't really care when it comes to relationships. It's just, you know, I think a lot of us are never gonna like the dude. We're never gonna respect him, just like he's never gonna respect any of us. Just like he never took the time to even get to know people. So
Believe it
what's
or
the
not,
point?
Simon, the only person that he told me that he didn't really fuck with was Daryl, I think. I think that was it. And I asked him if Daryl had called him one day needing his help, like if he was being chased by the cops or whatever. I asked him, would he help Daryl if Daryl called him? And Miguel said yes, and I believe him. It's like I said, Simon, Miguel doesn't hide those parts about him. He presents it to you on a fucking golden platter. It's when you
Yeah,
actually
and
get to know the
unfortunately-
guy on a personal level that you actually realize that he's a good guy. It's just, unfortunately, he likes showing the really bad sides on the surface, I suppose. Which is unusual, but, like I said, I would take that any fucking day over Nick.
That's fine. That's you. You do you. I don't really, like I said, I don't really care. Whatever happened between you and Nick, you know, I don't really know what happened, and I'm sorry if it was really bad. But the thing is like, if there's one thing, the difference I could have between, if there's one big difference between Nick and Miguel, is I could actually have a conversation with Nick.
You could have a conversation with Miguel too. You just know, gotta be a bit patient.
Yeah, well, I don't expect to have one anytime soon. So,
Yeah.
like I said, don't really care.
But anyways, moving on from that, not relevant, relationship shit. Yeah, so I went down to the empty cul-de-sac and apologized to Reed and Sai, just like Andi asked me to. And things were fine. They were angry, but things were fine. Boom, Simon, you would. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Let me think what happened from then. Oh. Because I had self-snitched on myself to both Andi and the Diamond Dogs, I was like, well, the whole fucking city knows at this point. Somehow. So, what did I do?
How do you think it got around at that point then?
I don't know, man. Probably Miguel posting it on Twitter.
Yeah, but if he posted it on Twitter, did he post anything about you?
Nope. That's what I'm saying, man. No one fucking knew. And to be honest, after I spoke to Reed and Sai, I kind of could have easily guessed that Reed would have gone to Michael and whoever else and told them, and then they would tell other people. You know, the fucking cat was out of the bag at that point. You know? Once it's out to one person, it's fucking out. So I felt guilty for bringing shit on the HOA when I never intended to. And I would have done things a lot differently. But during this time, I was fucking... I don't know, I guess I was self-sabotaging, Simon.
How so?
So after that whole shit, I guess I was afraid. I was afraid of getting kicked. I thought I was going to get kicked anyways. I was afraid of people judging the HOA because of what I did. So I thought I was already out the front door of the HOA at that point. So I went to Ray of Rust, and I told him that if he was going to be pissed at the HOA because I was involved, to not be and just be pissed at me.
So you talked to Ray about this stuff?
Yeah, that I went to the meeting. Like I told him I went to the meeting.
Did he already know or no?
Nope. No, but at that time, he was going to find out. I couldn't have known for sure.
But why go to Ray anyway?
To protect the HOA.
Did he have some sort of close relationship with Michael?
I think so, yeah. After a couple of conversations with him, I think he did. I think he planned to have more, in fact.
Hmm.
So at that time, my brain was thinking, I don't want anyone to look at the HOA as snitches, because I did. So I told Ray that if he was going to be pissed at me, not the HOA. You guys didn't do shit. This was me doing my own thing. And he understood. And that was that. And then I think at some point during that conversation with him, I told him I was worried about getting kicked, I think, from the HOA. Or I might have told him that I thought I was going to get kicked from the HOA. Because at that point, I thought I was going to get kicked. And that Andi and Julio were just waiting for Sis to wake up. So, I was trying to do damage control, which I suppose ended up doing more damage. But when I have a meeting with Ant and Julio, and I ask them if they're going to kick me, and their response is, oh no, we can't kick you. We need Sis around for that. Does that not indicate that I'm probably going to get fucking kicked?
If I was in your shoes, it definitely presents the possibility, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm worried that I'm going to get fucking kicked. And I would have accepted it right there and then if they had made that decision. But it hadn't happened yet. So, at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing by taking all that responsibility onto myself away from the HOA. I didn't. Had nothing to do with you guys. It was me. I fucked up. I did a stupid thing. That's it. And at some point, I don't know how long after this, but Ray went to Mari and said something about like if Lilith was still HOA or did she get kicked? I don't know. He was like asking her about me or something. And Mari was like, I don't remember. Ray was saying some whack shit and it confused Mari, and then I think Mari told me about it, and then there ended up being another meeting between Ray and I because... Fuck, man, I can't remember. He did something strange, and I wanted to talk to him about it because I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, why are you saying this shit? Like, why...
Was he asking if you were still in the group or something?
I think so. I think he went to Mari and, like, asked her if I was still HOA, then, and she was like, huh? What are you talking about? And then... Man. Whatever happened there stemmed a second meeting with Ray. I think I was asking him, like, why the fuck was he, like, going around and asking Mari this or something. And he denied it. Like, flat out, completely denied it. He said he never said that. Never spoke to Mari about that. Wasn't me. And I'm thinking to myself, well, either Mari's a fucking liar or Ray is. And why would Mari lie about something like that? So that means Ray's lying, right? And why is he lying about that? So I was like, you know what? Let's get Mari down here then. Let's find out the truth. So I call her down. She comes down. And then I tell her Ray appears to have memory loss and has no memory of the conversation that Mari and him had. And Mari's like, yeah, you did say that, Ray. And Ray's like, what? I did? Huh? And then he apologized for not remembering or whatever. I think he might have been eating a lot of sandwiches that week. So I think he was kind of cooked, but it made him look hella fucking sus. So I was questioning him, like, what the fuck was he doing? I was asking him, like, his motives, like, because at the time, you basically had to pick a side, right? Were you on the Simone side or Lang's side, right? And there's also the third party where you were not involved at all doing anything. But at the time, it was pretty split. And I was just asking him, what side was he on, and just chatting. And Mari was still with us at the time in the meeting, and then... Oh. I think I remember.
I feel like you're going to be getting to a part that we were told about.
where I said something about Andi to Ray in front of Mari?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I said?
What did you say?
I told him to not talk to Andi. About Simone, Lang, Cerberus, whatever shit. I told him to not talk to Andi. What do you think I said? I want to kill Andi Jones of the HOA. Fuck Andi Jones of the HOA.
No.
Is that what you think I said?
No. I know you didn't say that.
I told him to not talk to Andi. And Mari was there for that. Now, if I had meant it maliciously, like, don't trust Andi, why the fuck would I have said that in front of Mari? Like, what? If I was trying to scheme against her with another gang leader, why would I do that in front of Mari? That makes zero sense. None. And if Mari thought I was scheming blatantly in front of her, why did she not pull me aside afterwards and ask me, hey, Lilith, what did you mean by that when you said not to talk to Andi? What, you know? No, she didn't say a word to me. She just did her thing, and then I guess the very next morning she woke up nice and early to tell Andi. And I guess that got misconstrued as me telling Ray to don't talk to Andi, don't trust her, she is not trustworthy, you can't. We must take down Andi Jones of the HOA, don't trust her. That's what it seemed like you guys thought I said. No, man, I told Ray to not talk to Andi because she's got fucking the Simones trying to adopt her and change her name to Andi Simone. This guy... I don't even need to fucking tell you this, Simon, but I'm going to anyway. At that time, Ray was still picking a side. He wanted to benefit out of picking a side, and he was trying to figure out which side would benefit him the most. So in a weird, roundabout way, I told him to not talk to Andi because I was kind of pissed at Andi for everything that she was doing to me. But at the same time, I didn't want her to get hurt. I did not want the HOA to get involved and get hurt. That's it, Simon. There was no evil scheming right in front of Mari. Nothing. I wanted Ray to stop fucking talking. Because clearly he can't keep his mouth shut. And I told him that when I fucking left too.
So at the end of the day, the only reason you truly talked to Ray is because you didn't want him or his gang, Rust, trying to get involved and potentially coming after us because of what you had done.
Yes, because people were fucking sneaking around and trying to find out who was on whose side. And Andi made her side pretty fucking clear. She's been anti-Cerberus for how long? Everyone knows this. She had the Simones wanting to change her name to Andi Simone, bro. They adopted her.
You realize in the whole situation that we were trying to stay out of everything, right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on to another subject.
Sure.
Dundee. What the fuck was that about?
Bro.
What's the conversation? What was the conversation with Sai in the jail about? And why were you there talking to him?
So, I went to see Sai because that was when Miguel got put into the ICU by Michael.
Okay.
At that time, Sai was like taunting me. Like he would call me and just like taunt me for shit. but also called me Lil Sis at the same time because he was convinced that Sis was his father and that he was HOB. And so I went down there because I didn't want to talk about Michael Simone and my boyfriend being in the ICU by this guy over the phone while he's using a prison phone. Oh no, he actually had a burner phone actually, but still, I didn't want to talk over the phone about Michael Simone. So I went to Bolingbroke, and we're chatting. He's taunting me. You know, I asked him, you know, is he happy now? My boyfriend's in ICU. Is he happy? And then randomly his tone shifted, right? Like, it was like he had like taken off a mask, and like it was weird. But he went quiet. I think he was just like talking normally, and then he started. No, actually, you know what? No, he started shouting. Actually, he confessed his love to me. He was like, Lilith, I don't say this very often, not even to Lizzie, but I love you. And then I'm like, what the fuck? This guy is insane. This is weird. The psychiatrist is confessing his love for me. I'm out of here. And you were there, and who was it Louise?
Nico.
Yeah, it was you two. You were next to me.
Before we continue, I'll explain something that was happening before that, in case you had certain doubts because of one person not pulling at that time. So, a prior situation had happened. I can't remember what it was exactly, but Nico and I were running for cops, and I picked up Nico, and we got away. And we thought it was best to hold down at the prison for the time being, just because we lay low for a little bit. Mm-hmm. When we went to the prison, we saw that you were, I think it was Ant and Pilvis had got caught. Yeah, that's right. Ant and Pilvis had got caught. They were getting chased by cops. I got Nico out, so we had to dip. We went to the prison. We were going to go talk with them and lay low. And they hadn't been sent up yet, but we saw you talking with Sai.
Yep.
But the way you guys were treating the conversation felt like you guys didn't want us to hear anything.
Yeah, we were talking about Michael.
And then, which we didn't know. So then we were just kind of hanging out, and I saw Dundee kind of hanging about, but I didn't think he was like listening in, considering, you know, concrete walls and shit. But
yeah, no, he was.
Whatever. But whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you leave and you say you're going to bed.
Yep.
And then,
yeah, I was going to bed.
You're going to sleep. And then we go in and Sai goes, make sure nothing happens to her. And I said, what the fuck does he mean about that? And then we go outside and I see you having a conversation with Dundee. And then he pulls on you.
Yep. Sure
which
does.
I immediately pulled. I pulled because you were still in HOA at the time. Nico, unfortunately, didn't have a gun, so he couldn't do anything. I couldn't shoot because then I would be outgunned. And nothing would have happened.
Yeah.
But in that time, while they were trying to load you into that car and get you out of there, him and Aziz, I constantly radioed for people to get their fucking asses up to the prison, that you were being taken. And eventually, when people got there, I helped gun down the fuck out of Dundee. And because cops were coming, we didn't get to take them. And then, but to hear things like that, oh, she's not a part of HOA anymore, or that, like, you know, nobody's gonna help you, that confused me.
Wait, who said that?
Dundee said that to you. And we told Dundee,
I think I was wearing a HOA hoodie at the time.
You were. You said, why? You said, how can you say I'm not HOA when I'm wearing an HOA hoodie? And then he was saying some shit about like how like you're fucking Psy and that you're lovers and that you guys are planning to take out like Lane and people and some other people. And then we're trying to fucking tell Dundee like that you're HOA and nothing's happening, and he's got, and like, for all of it just to fucking end is just to give you up and we'll be done with it and that's it. But no, he had to escalate, and whatever his dumb fucking 2 IQ of a fucking brain thinks all the time.
Dundee is Dundee.
Exactly. He had to take it further and further and further to the point where other people got gunned down. I gunned down a random fucking dude because we thought he was Dundee. He wouldn't stop his fucking car. And then I got to gun down cops too. And then me and fucking Q went to fucking prison while everybody else was looking for you. Because then Aziz, being the smart one of the fucking group, decided eventually, oh, we should probably just fucking end this. Like, there's no point of us continuing. To where even people like Pluto got fucking shot down. Because even Pluto didn't even know what the fuck was going on.
Yep.
And then eventually it all ended.
So, Simon, literally all Sai and I talked about was just like my boyfriend being in the ICU, Michael. And it was basically me standing there, like, being sad, basically. Like, I was sad. My boyfriend was in the ICU. I thought he was going to die. So I'm telling Sai, like, are you happy? Does this make you feel better? And then, like I said, he, like, took off this mask and, like, did a 180 and, like, said that he started feeling bad or whatever. Like, he felt bad for me. And then he did the confessing his love for me shit. And I was like, okay, whatever, Sai, like... He's actually lost a plot at that point.
Let's just move on from him.
Yeah, I know.
Let's just move on.
But getting to the point, I walked out with the full intention to go to bed. I told you I was going to go to bed. I walk outside and Dundee's there, and I didn't know Dundee was there at all. He
like
starts.
I said, he'd been there, but I didn't know he was just there to listen to you guys. I thought he was just there because he was waiting for somebody, just waiting on the wall.
Yeah, I guess so. And Dundee starts questioning me about, like, being lovers with Sai and that, he said Sai something about wanting to, kill, Ray and Lang, and I think Dundee was mentioned, and someone else. I can't remember, like Sai listed off a bunch of people that I think he was going to kill.
Sure.
And then I guess Dundee thought I was in on that with him. Because Dundee was like, oh, you're gonna kill Ray, me, Lang, huh? And I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? Like, first of all, I'm dating Miguel. Like, I was just fucking, like, stun-locked. I was shocked at the shit he was saying. Because I made it pretty clear that I thought that, like, I wasn't accepting the whatever. Like, I denied it, obviously. And then I get thrown into the car with Aziz, and you guys shoot Dundee down, and Aziz takes me to a fucking boat. And then...
Which we found the car eventually.
Yeah, Aziz told me that he didn't know what to do from there because me getting kidnapped was like a out of the blue kind of thing. Like, they didn't plan for it. He just gave the order to Aziz to kidnap me. And then Dundee got shot down and had no further orders. So we just sat on the lake for a while. And he was asking me questions like, so, like, who are you? Like, why? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, I'm HOA. My name's Lilith. I'm Sis Volker's daughter. I'm dating Miguel, and then Aziz is just as stunned as I am because he doesn't understand why I'm being kidnapped, why he's holding a fucking gun to my head. So he takes me somewhere, and some other guy shows up, and I explain to them that, yeah, I have nothing to do with Sai. He's just saying, like, crazy shit in prison. And apparently Sai texted Dundee that he better not hurt Lilith because he really cares about her or some shit. So it sounds like he set me up because he knew Dundee was listening. Don't know how, but you just take a drink?
Yeah.
Do you have another one?
No.
I need that, Simon. This. Fuck. So, yeah, I'm kidnapped by these guys, and none of them have any idea why. Because of crazy shit that Dundee overheard and took the bait, I guess, because he was making it all up. Because I guess he knew that Dundee was listening. I don't fucking know, man. So, you guys pick Dundee up and negotiations start happening, and yeah, Sai sent Dundee a text saying that, like, he cares about me and don't hurt me and all this shit, when I don't think he cared at all. He was just lying to set me up. I think he set the whole thing up. I think he somehow knew that Dundee was listening the whole time, and that's why he, like, did this 180 and, like, confessed his love and shit. Yeah, whatever. So, I am being
Probably
held...
makes sense now.
Yeah. So he set me up. That's the only logical reason I can think of. Anyway, you guys start negotiating with Dundee, like he wanted money or something. And I'm just sitting in the car with Aziz at the ranch. And I don't know who it was, but one of you guys came rolling in and immediately started blasting. Try and save me, I guess, when we were still in the middle of a negotiation. So I think that's what pissed Dundee off. Because once you guys did that, I think that's when he escalated and had me shot. I don't really know the exact, like, timeline of everything, because I was only on... Because I was a hostage. I don't know what the fuck you guys were talking about. Yeah.
I don't know, because that you were probably at that point.
Apparently, I think Dundee wanted the money within like 5 minutes or less or some shit, and like you guys couldn't. I don't know.
From my recollection, I was told that he wanted money for some reason. I can't remember the exact reason, and it was like once we had done something, he'd give us the money back. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I
Dundee was being Dundee and making things way more complicated, and you guys like obviously got impatient and wanted to save me, and then because you guys came in with guns blasting,
because apparently the guys found you at some point at La Fuente Blanca,
yeah,
whatever, but me and Q were in fucking jail, so we were serving time, and we found out that the guy that we were chasing, like the guy that we were chasing didn't even stop the fucking car. I said to him, dude, just stop the fucking car. And we were chasing him all the way from fucking prison into the city, to where he crashed into a cop, then started shooting us. I blame him. And then the cops start shooting at me, take out my car, and then they start coming to us. And I said, "Q, we're gonna have to fight our way out of here." And then I gunned down another cop, and then we went to jail. And then they were doing whatever with your stuff. Pluto gets shot on the highway, etc., etc. And then eventually it all boils down to, oh, this was just a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, it was a misunderstanding, all right, because none of it made fucking sense.
I think at that point we were just like, we're never dealing with Dundee as a for any reason. But anyway, moving on from that. So here's what I'm thinking, right? The fact that Dundee asked you that question as to, or said that you weren't HOA anymore, and the fact that Ray's name was brought up for some reason in terms of like side talking about who he was gonna like do whatever. Part of me thinks that Ray had a conversation with Dundee, and that's why he brought that up to you.
Well, yeah, you're right, because there'd be times where I'd be driving around with Ray, hanging out, and we ran into Dundee twice, I think, at least once.
Sure.
And they had a long conversation. So they definitely have a relationship of some form. So I think me doing my shitty damage control was kind of maybe the right thing to do. I don't know, because people can't fucking shut up in the city. So, but yeah, no, Simon, I went to prison to just talk about Simone shit with Sai. That was it. I went to go to bed, and Dundee, I guess, overheard the weird shit that he was saying to me at the time.
He tried to use that to his advantage.
Yeah. That was like probably the first time I'd ever properly spoken to Dundee in my life. I didn't know he was there. And the fact that he told you and Nico to like make sure I'm safe or whatever when I leave is like honestly evidence there that he set me up. Not evidence, but kind of telling. Any more questions on that, Simon?
No, we can move on from that situation. So you're in ICU, eventually you wake up, and then what happens from there?
I wake up from the ICU and
I think that's eventually where you had another conversation with Ray, where Mari was there, right? Which you already talked about.
Yeah, I think so.
that
Yeah,
was
it
pretty-
would have
and
been because
that
the
was-
next day, yeah, the day Mari told Andi is when I got kicked. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like that morning, yeah, morning for me.
Morning for you, yes,
Yeah.
night for us. So I will say I was there for part of whatever meeting we had because I hadn't been around since the whole Dundee debacle. I don't know.
Listen, Simon, like, I know that. Okay, you know what? I made it pretty clear that I would never leave the HOA, that I was ride or die. And the last 6 months of being in the HOA were not fun.
Was part of that because you lost the lab?
That was a big part.
I could hear the distraught in your voice when we got rid of it.
I didn't want to give it up.
I know you didn't, but I think at that time it was probably best, considering I'm not gonna lie, Lilith, I hated the bitching and complaining about people not helping, but
Yeah, I hated bitching about it too. I didn't wanna.
You had the people who helped you, like myself, Tom, Mari, Jesus,
I did, but I felt fucking bad for it every time.
Fred, Wade, whoever. I
Because
get
we
it.
had 40 members.
But that was our thing, all right? The fuck, who cares about the 40 members, all right? When there's 40 members and there are certain people doing certain things, there are people who have their thing and there are people who don't have anything, all right? You had your operation, you had the people that you needed to help with, all right? And I know you felt bad because people were like either waking up late or waking up early, or there were times where those people like myself couldn't be around because of other obligations, and to the point where you had nobody to do it. But, I can admit I don't like the fact that people were putting off. I didn't like the fact that there were times where people said, yeah, sure, I'll go do it. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, no. Here, you take my spot because you normally go do it. It's like, no, the whole point is that you should be helping out because it was a thing, right? And I get it. You took over for, doing it a long time ago before even I was HOA.
Do you know why I took over, Simon?
Because you wanted to relieve your father of the stress that he went through.
Yes, Simon.
Right, and then
I wanted to continue it for him.
Yeah, and you started doing this. You started getting stressed yourself to the point of where you also could have just fucking taken a break from it.
Because it just made no sense to me that we were lucky enough to be one of the few groups in the city to have a lab. And we had so many members to be grateful of having a fucking lab. I didn't want to sell it.
I know you didn't. It was your what, quote unquote, your baby.
It was my baby, and like the act of cooking meth was not difficult. just a lengthy process. But I couldn't cook in a lab on my own. I wanted you guys to do meth runs. Daryl wanted to do meth runs. I tried to set shit up. No one wanted to join in. I hated how much everybody was posting. Not everybody. Not everybody.
You want to know what my defense was?
Yeah.
My defense for not doing it was the fact that I was helping put the cooks together.
Yeah,
so
so I mean, you are like, if not number one of the main people that like helped me the most.
I did help you the most.
Even you emailed me and were like, hey, let me know if you need someone.
Yeah, same with Tom. Yeah. Tom was the other. Me and Tom were like the two main dudes who were literally helping you with that. And then if Mari was around the next storm and you did stuff,
exactly,
then you would have her. And then Jesus would obviously help us too, and then maybe Dante from now and then. But again, it got to the point where, and I had a solid group, and even Holden, we had people. It's just the problem was that people's schedules changed. It become inconsistent, and then unfortunately with the whole shit with Mandem, and then finding out that there was another fucking group, 2 or 3 more wanting to do it, it got to the point where we kind of had no choice. There's no way we're gonna be able to defend this kind of shit, and unfortunately, the way upping security in the location that we had, it was not gonna work.
I mean,
that location was I'm not gonna lie, Lilith, the new location that we had, I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
There was no cover, there's no vantage points. It's simply just you have a whole fucking building.
Yep. I mean, and
don't get me wrong, I fucking miss it. I really do. I miss having something to say like, oh yeah, like this may not be mine, but at least I could say that I helped. You know.
For 6 months, Simon, nothing in the HOA was happening. All we did was wake up and get yelled at for not getting materials. And to go and do a fucking Sunny run.
Don't want to talk about materials.
Yeah. For 6 months, nothing was happening. It was a shit like that. Fucking hated it. I kept up meth because I really, truly hoped one day people would get off their fucking ass and like learn to drive, learn to shoot, and start doing meth runs, start doing some crazy shit like a fucking gang. And it got to the point where I guess no one wanted to be a fucking gang except for maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 people like you that wanted to actually do gang things, not dodo every fucking day.
Listen, there were things I had my limitations to, and I voiced that straight away to people. I think some people still didn't understand it because unfortunately it's just
people were more comfortable posting.
Unfortunately, it's not even that. There are some things that just unfortunately hit an anxiety point to where my brain cannot do it, and that's why do you think I never pushed? Because my
anxiety, Simon.
Going through the roof. That's why I just did the cooks, because at least it was a little bit more chill and secure rather than.
The fact is, you did something, right?
That's
like you had some involvement, and that's all I could have ever asked for. You know, and I completely understood, like, yeah, we're not really equipped to fight another gang if we get caught lacking while doing a cook, anything. I fully understand. I was prepared to just keep the key and pay the fees and maybe find another group to do it with. You know, I could have made it Lilith's lab and whoever else wanted to join in, you know? I even thought about just cooking as much as I can and not even doing runs with the meth, but giving it to a group like Mortel who can't produce that many pillows with just tables, and just letting them do a fucking run. But just, I wanted to give something to people for them to do. I didn't want to benefit from selling meth. Like, I had millions already, Simon. I didn't want it for the money. Yes, I would have liked to have been reimbursed for the thinners and stuff, but it got to a point where I didn't reimburse myself anymore because I wanted people to get paid.
I remember when I grinded the tables all the time. When
I
you
just wanted something.
when you left for your vacation in the summer, or at least your winter, so to speak. Remember, I said since Lilith is going to be gone and we're not going to have access, I'm just going to grind the tables, which I did. But it was also during a point where nobody was around, so me grinding the tables for nothing made no sense to me.
Yeah.
Until people started coming back around, and then I kept doing it. And
Simon's
then
heavily
got to the point where
underrated
people
when it
thought I
comes
was
to
going way too hard.
roleplay ability.
Like
He's
Luis
great.
was kind of worried I was going way too hard. I was going to burn myself out. And I was just like, well, you know, just be happy I'm fucking doing something because, you know, I was doing at least 2 to 3 a day. Even if it was just a couple of pillows, at least there were other people doing. There were some people doing the other table at the time.
Yeah. I mean, we were struggling to get people to just do table cooks as is for Hawk, right? Like that was a struggle as is. A fucking lab was. There was a period where we were like grinding, and then it slowed down to nothing.
There was a period where it slowed down, but I think that's also because like one, I was gone for like 2 months because of out of city commitments, and then
and Sis stopped waking up.
I don't think that should be a cause of issue. It's the people who are around that take the initiative to do the things that need to get done.
The matter of fact
Which
is
people
that
who were around did. So
the matter of fact is that I wasn't pissed off at you guys for like not helping me or whatever. I was pissed because I knew you guys could do better than Dodo and Sunny runs.
Stopped doing Dodo a long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
There was no point to it. I understand for some people they needed to do it because they needed the consistency to pay off their cars.
I just wanted to be a gang, Simon. I wanted to do gang shit. I want to fucking cook drugs, sell drugs, shoot cops. You know?
Trust me, I did enough of that for fucking Game of Thrones week.
True.
You did say one thing during that week that really pissed me the fuck off.
What did I say?
Do you remember when you were doing this thing with Sis? You were doing this, I don't know what the hell you guys were doing. You guys, like, were getting chased by cops. It was like a run, but it wasn't a meth run. It was like a...
Oh, yeah.
You guys were asking for other people to help. I couldn't do it because I was, quote-unquote, the black market that week. I had RPGs, pipe bombs, C4s, and everything you could possibly think of in my van. And then you said the quote-unquote, the silence speaks volumes over the radio. To where I was immediately tilted and aggravated to the point where I was like, if only you had fucking known what I've been doing this whole fucking week. I had shot cops twice. I saved your dad twice. I went to jail at least 3 times, lost 150K that week just because I was trying to make sure people were having fun and making sure that nobody else was going to fucking jail so that people could enjoy the thing that Patty was trying to run for us while Ant was off camping.
This was hot potato, right? You guys were doing?
No. It was Game of Thrones week.
Oh.
It was Game of Thrones week. I was doing certain things, but the first day before it even started, like, cops fucking shot Stanley and Sis for God knows what reason. I shot like 5 cops down and then went to jail for that. And then the next day, Sis had a warrant because of all that, and he was driving into Regina with Aaron, Rod, and Q to where I had to get them out, and nobody else was answering on the radio because everybody was doing Game of Thrones stuff. So eventually Jesus came to help, but I just said, fuck it, like, just let me go to jail. I'll make sure everybody gets out. And then to that point where the H run happened, and I was just like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, I've already lost all my money. And then when that came over the radio, I was fucking furious.
I'm sorry, Simon. I know I can be hella passive aggressive sometimes. I think at that time I was I don't know, I guess pretty bitter and jaded with the HOA because I was just, I mean, like I said, I wasn't happy for the 6 months towards the end.
What all in the 6 months? I mean, other than like all this shit, like with Miguel and the Simones and Lane and like whatever. You want the truth, Simon? Do you want the fucking truth? Yes, I want to know what else happened within those 6 months that you were just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
The HOA stopped feeling like a family. That's all it is. You know, before I was HOA, I worked at the Rooster's Rest. I hadn't even shot anybody before at that point. I just worked at Rooster's Rest. I had a clean record. I was trying to pay off my loan for my Kanjo. And I can't remember the context, but I ended up being like the beef stew connect for Sis. It felt nice that I was useful to somebody, even if it was a personal delivery of beef stew. And I was very close with Kian back then. I was friends with Kian before... Like, Jesus, HOB wasn't even a thing yet. This was, like, farmer's market shit.
I still remember walking in wanting to drink because my friend had died. You and Gilia were the first two people in the bar to serve me. In the tavern.
I started hanging out with Kian. I started coming around Mirror Park, and I felt like I could have a home there. So I quit my job at the VU, and I got a job at the tavern, and I just worked. I was happy. And then this was the time where there wasn't really many people waking up. It was just like, it was just Sis, Stanley, Hades, maybe Kermie, maybe Andi, I don't really remember. It was like a maximum of 10 people around in Mirror Park. And it got to the point where, I guess they were desperate enough to need a lookout for the private lab that Sis had. And I was very frequently the bison driver, the lookout, while I circled Grapeseed, while Sis, Stanley, and whoever else cooked. I wasn't even HOB. I was just some fucking tavern worker that gave Sis beef stew from Rooster's Rest. And then I met Miguel and Flippy. I still wasn't HOB or HOA at this point. I was still just a tavern employee. And I met Miguel and Flippy, and they... Either Sis told them or I told them, I don't know, that I was helping Sis with, cooking meth and stuff. And Sis and Flippy were very close back then. So I started helping Flippy and Miguel out with being a lookout. And then they got to the point where Flippy taught me how to cook meth, and I started going into the lab with Sis and helping him cook, and then eventually I got brought into HOB, and then eventually HOA. And for a good long while, I was happy. I had a family. I moved to this city to escape some shit back in Australia. I left my family back there. I left my friends back there. I was lied to and betrayed by my best friend. So I ran from all of it, moved here, and had nobody. Until I met the HOA. They took me in. They taught me everything I know today. I had a family, Simon, and then I don't know what happened along the way. I don't know if it was when we recruited like 30 members. I don't know what happened, but at some point I stopped feeling at home. I stopped feeling like I had a family. Because...
Why? Because you started growing to the point where it's like you feel like you didn't know anyone?
Yeah. Maybe. And then, during all of this, I had my loyalty questioned multiple times by Andi and Julio. Like, before I was even HOB, Andi and Julio were, like, annoyed because I was hanging out with Flippy and Miguel so much. Because there was no other HOA around during these hours. Who do I hang out with? And I was learning a lot from them. They were teaching me things that the HOA couldn't teach. Or didn't feel that they could trust me yet with teaching, like cooking meth. You know, and then it happened again and again where Freddy was being held up by someone in Seaside because they were hunting some other gang in Mirror Park, and I don't think Freddy was even that pressed that he got held up in his own turf. I don't think he even cared that much, but Julio was like furious, and like I was trying to understand the situation. I was like, you know, they're at war, so it kind of makes sense if they're like on edge, and then, you know, it's a bit dumb of them to like hold us up in Mirror Park on our own turf. But like I kind of understood.
I think we were at a point where not everybody was kind of at the point of experience to when to like react to something.
Yeah, so I was just trying to understand the
Whereas now it's a lot
situation,
different.
and I don't know, maybe a part of me has always just been trying to follow in Scissor's footsteps as his daughter. But I feel like Sis would not have wanted to jump the gun and immediately gone and press Seaside about why they're holding us up in Mirror Park and stuff. I think like a conversation and understanding would have gone a lot better, and I think that's what would have... I feel like Sis would have just preferred to talk and less gun waving, and I was trying to navigate that and ask questions about like what was happening, and Julio was just like, what gang are you in, Lilith? And you know, that shit, you know, well and truly passed. Julio and I sat and talked about it. He apologized to me, and he did too. She apologized as well, but that shit stung, Simon, because you know when you get brought into a family and I'm ride or die for them, and I have fucking uncle and aunt in the background like staring at me and questioning me why, you know, am I even loyal to the HOA? Like, am I even loyal to this family? That fucking sucked. And I felt like every time I tried to step up, Andi would shut me down, or I don't know. I still remember vividly, one day we did a bank. It was me, Andi, and Wade, and someone else. I can't remember. I was the backup. You know, if shit went south, I would rescue everybody, right? I was told that Wade had the loot. So I was like, okay, if shit goes south, they crash, I would prioritize Wade. And that's exactly what I did. They got into a chase that lasted like fucking 3 minutes. Car was out. The moment I got the signal, I went straight in. I found Wade first, picked him up, got him rescued. I think I even went back and saved someone else. Can't remember. But the last person was Andi, and she was surrounded. Like, I drove past her like a million times to see if I could do anything at all, try and get her out. But, you know, it ended up being only her that got arrested, I think. And, you know, that's a W in my book, I think. We got the loot. It's just Andi that went to prison, and she would have just lost her gun or whatever, right? And Bill's, you know, getting caught in a fucking bank chase is nothing. The fine, that is. So I was feeling fucking proud of myself. I did really, really good. I got Wade out of there. Everyone was great. And Andi gets out of prison. And I run over to her and I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry. I tried to get you, but you're surrounded. And she was just pissed off at me. She was like mad that I didn't rescue her. And apparently she was screaming on radio for help, which I didn't hear, or I was already with someone, Wade, who had the loot. That was what was communicated to me. And apparently she was pissed because she decided at some point to take half the loot, which wasn't communicated to me. If I had known that, I would have like maybe scooped Wade up and then gone and found Andi too, right? But she was just like furious at me for not saving her. And I just, at that point, it felt like it didn't matter what I did ever. It was just the wrong thing to her. You know, it was like she was threatened by me or something, Simon. And I felt like I wouldn't be able to get anywhere in the HOA if she felt threatened by me. I don't know what she felt threatened for. Was she worried about me taking her place as High Command? I don't fucking know what it was. I don't know what her beef was with me. The amount of times I would try to talk to her and become closer to her. I even arranged with her, like we'd fought one day. We butted heads about something and I had asked her for a girl to stay with her, basically. I wanted to get to know her better. And she just didn't show up. She went to fucking bed. Like, pretty much like, shortly after I woke up, she just dipped. I tried to connect with her. I really fucking tried. But no matter what I did, I failed her every time. And if being High Command was on the cards for me, if at all ever, I would never overtake Andi. She earned her position. I might not agree with how she handles things, but I respect how much hard work she put in, not only for the HOA, but for the fucking city. I told Mari this, I told Tom this, I never wanted her to get hurt. Yes, I was fucking pissed off at her. Yeah, I wanted to fucking slap her across the face. I didn't want her to get fucking tortured and killed. I had nothing to do with that. Can I stop Miguel from doing that? No. Would he stop if I had asked? No. Why would he? But it felt like Andi had it out for me from the very beginning. I wasn't even HOB yet. And I had noticed that long ago that she had it out for me. I don't know what it was. And it's thanks to her that I became HOB in the first place, right? She was the one that recruited me, and I don't know what happened. But it felt like everything I did was just... I was under a microscope, Simon. Like, I got in trouble with her for venting to other gangs. When all I did was talk to Fred, who was the Lost at the time. I told him that I was struggling to get people from the HOA to help me cook. There was nothing deeper than that. It really wasn't. And he was just like, oh, well, if you need help, you know, call me in the Lost up and we'll help you, no worries. It wasn't any deeper than that, and that's venting, I guess. And then she went and told Sis, and Sis was mad that I was venting to other gangs, when Sis himself would regularly drive around with Flippy and Miguel to vent about the HOA. And there's no way in hell that Andi never vented about the HOA to Denzel. I never talked about gang secrets. I never vented about how much I hate the HOA, how useless they are. I probably sounded annoyed, maybe, when I was telling Fred that I couldn't get help from the HOA. I'm quite certain I had a tone, Simon. But Jesus fucking Christ, everything I did was under a goddamn microscope when everyone else did the exact same shit.
Well, like father, like daughter, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Fuck.
Just I don't know. Like there definitely were. I don't think you were the only person who dealt with that kind of stuff. Like in terms of like doing like banks or whatever. Like, and I'm not even saying like I'm not
Too.
saying,
I told her I wanted to go to the vault, the oil rig. I told Andi I wanted to do these things, and I got left out every time. Sorry.
I just got over doing banks and stuff for a while. I just didn't want to do them anymore. But I mean, there are other people who were kind of like that. I guess like there are other people who were too worried about not getting helped out when they weren't the ones with the loot, and you kind of had to like just remind people like the whole point is like we're trying to build up X coin, we're trying to get that out. Like that was the biggest thing, right? So
Yeah.
In terms of like venting stuff though, like I understand that like sometimes maybe not talking with a fellow member about stuff is what you want to do, but I guess when it comes to gang stuff, I can kind of understand like we shouldn't be talking with others about it because it's not really anybody else's business but ours.
And I get that too, but why am I the one that gets fucking grilled for it when the people accusing me of such do the exact same shit?
I don't know, Lilith. I wish I had the answers.
And I apologize. I said I
really
was sorry, but...
Trust me, I've had my ups and downs too. HOB was tough. I can admit that. But if there's one thing I can say is that my HOB class for me and a lot of people was a lot tougher than your first class. That's for sure. The original.
I didn't even have a class. I just fucking...
That's what I mean. It's like
my class, Simon, was clapping pink gang, and then I was HOA. That was my early job.
Right.
To shooting pink
You guys
gang.
You guys had it a lot easier than the majority of us did.
You guys went through it.
Like, I remember the biggest thing we ever did as a group was, the tavern or the Great Mirror Park battle against the cops because of Espino's and his bullshit. I'll never forget that. That's always going to be a big part of our history.
I still think about that day sometimes.
Think about a lot of events.
Because it was like, after so long, everybody had underestimated the HOA and, we're not a real gang, and then... That was a good day. That was a good day. Look, Simon, I know that I've said and done some stupid shit. I'm not some fucking, like... I'm passive-aggressive. I'm emotional. I'm sensitive. And I can be fucking rude and impatient sometimes.
Yeah.
But I loved you guys. I still do. And if Andi popped out of a bush right now and gave me a hug, I'd hug her back. I would. And I still think about being in prison that one day and seeing Julio in his fucking mask and his Cybertruck doing drive-bys, waiting for me to get out of prison so that you guys could swoop me up and do whatever the hell you guys had planned for me. I don't know what it was, but... I sat in prison in a disguise. I had like fucking dark blue hair. I was wearing weird shit. And all I could think was, these guys aren't my family. And I think I realized at that moment that I felt like that you guys weren't my family. for a while.
I still think that in any situation, no matter, or in this situation with what happened with all the Michael Simone stuff, I think if it was anybody else, I still think a lot worse could have happened.
Yeah. I mean, after I heard what Fred did, I would have honestly... If you guys didn't kick Fred after what he did, I would have, like, lost it, to be honest. Because what he did was so much worse.
He talked to you.
Yeah, he did. He, I was an emergency contact when he went into the ICU. So we met up and, yeah, he told me that he had been shot by Julio and the reason why.
I haven't seen him since.
Me either, actually. I don't know, Simon, like... Ever since I've been without you guys, I honestly don't think I've spoken bad about any of you. Maybe the slight joke about Andi every now and again, but I haven't done that in a long time. I stopped. I moved on. I've stopped being petty.
I hadn't known Tom and Mari spoke with you until you told me.
Yeah.
That's fine. I think everybody's entitled to have their closure with you, if that's what they choose or not. Because for somebody like me who was close with you in terms of work and operations and stuff, and, you know, I did look up to you, Lilith. I looked up to you a lot.
Really? Thanks, Simon. I don't know, I still care about you guys. I never stopped. There's been a few times during these hours where I've driven past the liquid vibrator to see if any of you guys were around. Not even to say hello. Nothing, I just wanted to see you guys.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that easy anymore.
No, it's not. I mean it, Simon. I had nothing to do with what happened to Andi.
I wish none of it happened.
I'm sorry, Simon. I probably didn't make it clear back then, but I really did appreciate all your help, Simon. I know that I was passive-aggressive all the time. I know I was bitching and moaning all the time. I'm sorry. I think I wanted to prove myself somehow, and my way of proving myself was the meth shit, and I couldn't do it alone, and I became frustrated because if I Because if I stopped my operation, then what use did I have to the HOA? You know? And I didn't take on the Falcon name because I wanted to fucking take over the HOA and make it mine. Nothing like that. I just wanted to make my dad proud. I want to make you guys proud. I wanted you guys to be proud of yourselves.
You know, when the whole Dundee thing happened, I felt like how Tom felt when you got taken by Lizzie and them. I felt like I failed. I felt like I'd let not only you down, but everybody else.
You didn't, Simon. I saw you back there. I saw you fucking blasting. Trust me, I saw it. I may have had a gun to my head, but I saw it as we were driving away. Just like I saw Tom. When Lizzie drove me away. Trust me, Simon, I am fully aware of how much you've helped me. And I'm sorry that I didn't make you fully aware of how much I appreciated you. I probably didn't say that enough.
I was happy to help. Always was.
Do you hate me, Simon? Is this where I say silence speaks volumes? Sorry.
No. I don't know how I feel. I don't know what the word is to describe how I feel.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
maybe heartbroken.
I'm sorry.
I remember after the
height difference right now is
cabin
kind of funny.
blowing up, we had this big meeting on top of what would have been the Cool Beans back then, but it was going to be the liquor library. I remember we were talking about our self-evaluations, which I still hate to this day.
Oh. Oh, yeah, he got a
Do you
bad
remember
one, I
that day?
think. I remember the evaluations, what each, what they were for everybody. I don't remember. I don't think
Well,
Simon's was
at that
good.
time, I was still kind of getting my feet wet, so to speak. And I remember Ant bringing up names of people who were not as productive as others. And I know my name came up the most. But there was one person who said that I had found my place and that I had proven myself. And I had found my spot. And that was you.
Yep.
And ever since, that was the day I knew I was capable of doing many things. And I looked up to you then ever since. But then when all this happened, my heart sunk into my stomach because I had felt completely betrayed as a friend. To feel that I didn't have your back was heartbreaking.
You've always had my back, Simon.
Because who stepped up and started doing the tables when you were gone? Me. Who fucking helped you with the lab? Me. Who the fuck shot at Dundee when he fucking took you because he thought that you weren't a fucking member anymore? Me.
Doesn't that prove I was right then? It just proves I was right.
Right
You
about
had
what?
my back. You had my back from the very fucking start. You had potential from the very fucking start.
I did have your back, and then you just started changing in front of everybody. The passive aggressiveness, the feeling unwanted, the constant nobody wants to fucking do this, who wants to do that with me. It was the same fucking bullshit, and I just got tired of it. And then you were gone forever. I didn't see you. And then, you know, we got all the shit with the lab. Just, you know, I know that was your thing. I don't think anybody can deny that. But I think you worked yourself too hard to the bone, to the point where literally you were just not the same anymore. And I think you needed a break. I think you could have easily changed things up and allowed somebody else to just maybe take over. And not saying fully take over, but at least just give it a go. Like, you know, you could have had Fred doing his stuff and he could have been working on producing more and whatever. But even to hear like you do this stuff all over again, and you say you still love us and all that stuff.
I didn't want to let Sis down, Simon. I didn't want to let...
You weren't letting him down. You were doing
I felt like
his
I
work.
was. I
But
felt
you
like I
weren't.
was.
You know, there's almost a day I never came back.
When?
During academy. Almost didn't come back. When y'all dogpiled on us. It was like the library had just opened. You know, we were still sitting on buckets in the meeting room, and you know, we had a bunch of beers and bananas and stuff all over the table, I think. And I just remember I almost never came back. But I'm glad I did, because at least I showed that I wasn't a quitter. I'm
Yeah.
not going to, and I'm never going to quit. But regardless, look, you had a family. You did. You may say it doesn't feel like a family. Well, sure, maybe at times it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. But you still had people there who cared about you, like me, like Tom, like Mari.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't come back, then who else would have shot Dundee?
They still would have helped you regardless.
Yeah,
They still would have helped you. You may not think that, but they would have. Yeah, we were confused. Yeah, there were a lot of things that have been said. But I've heard both sides of the story. And part of me still doesn't know what to believe. But I'm just glad everything's over and we can move on. Because, again, this is something that I don't think any of us wanted to happen. Nobody wanted any of this to happen. I still don't understand the falling out of, because new members coming on. Maybe you felt like you were being replaced. I don't really know. I don't think that was the case at all.
I think I was feeling that way even before we started recruiting people.
Why? Why before all the people coming? How did you feel like you were being replaced?
Well, I didn't think I was being replaced. Nothing like that. Not at all.
You felt like you said you felt like it wasn't a family either, right?
Yeah. It's
Like,
just...
but what about 40 members made you feel that way, though? Like, what made you disconnect?
Lack of bond, maybe. Me feeling like I was always a fuck up to Andi. And then whatever she thought of me, she would preach to Julio, and Julio would repeat whatever she said. I don't know what it was, Simon. I wish I could tell you what it was. But I felt it for a while. Sis stopped waking up. Maybe that had something to do with it. But then I'd have to answer to Andi, and I could do nothing right by her.
But you gotta remember, you're not the only person who has to, right? As much as I know he's your dad and stuff, you can't look to him all the time, because those Ant, Daryl, Julio, they're all in those positions for a reason.
I went to them, Simon. I went to them.
them.
Yeah, no, I didn't always go to Sis. I went to each high command for different things. Because I think the fact that... The thing about the HOA high command is that I think, personally, that each of them had their own, like, role to play. And each one of them were better at different things. Sis, when it came to failings, I spoke to Sis more. when it came to like war stuff and learning that kind of shit, it was Daryl and Julio. Andi, I don't think I felt like I could go to her at all. Because
you were constantly butting heads with her.
yeah, that, and every time I tried to have like a personal relationship with her, like beyond gang leader, gang member, it just, I don't know. She didn't show up the day we had a day plan together. Whenever I tried to get her to talk about all the shit that was going on in her life, how could I help her, make her feel better, and she just like, I got through sometimes. She told me that, you know, that she, you know, it was her job to look after everybody, you know. And I know she was way too hard on herself. And maybe that's why we butted heads, because I knew that she was suffering and no one else seemed to notice. I don't know what it was. People weren't listening to her when she made calls.
It's because things that were said from
from
other leadership. She said the exact same thing, but people didn't listen to her because it was somebody else. And I've noticed that a lot. Even I can admit that even back in a while ago, I've been guilty of that. I think everybody's been guilty of it. I understand people have different leadership styles, and they're not gonna be the same. Maybe they'll see eye to eye with certain things, but obviously the way they treat certain things are always gonna be different. I think that's some things that some people just have a hard time understanding.
Yeah.
Because you have to get used to it.
Yeah, it was very.
I'm hoping one day. I'm hoping one day you can fix that, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
What, me and Andi?
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think that's going to be anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. I'd love for it to happen. I would love for the day where Andi and I could stand eye to eye and scream at each other and then hug it out afterwards, because she and I both agreed and even said this to each other, that whenever we like butted heads, normally would like have a screaming fit at each other, and then we'd feel so much better and feel closer because of it. And shit, maybe in 6 months' time, her and I are best friends because of all this. Who fucking knows, Simon? Anything's goddamn possible in this city. I just don't know what I could have done to not disappoint her. I don't know about you, Simon, but I wasn't born and raised gang life. I lived in Australia, I had a job, I fucking worked, I had friends, I had a family. My dad was a cop, Simon. Like, my birth dad.
I wasn't born into this life. I had to change. I had to make it. We all had to make a decision when we joined HOA. It's either you be a civ or you be a crim. But if you be a crim, you gotta be able to be willing to do certain things.
And that takes time to learn.
It does, but unfortunately, a lot of people take way too long. Some people still do.
Yeah.
Hell, there are probably still things I'm still fucking lacking on. either way, just things.
Simon.
Clearly, things didn't work out, and obviously, you felt a certain way even before all this went down. I can't blame you for that. That's how you felt. But everything that happened, it's hard to. It's just hard to understand and just to accept, I guess. I don't know. I'm still having a hard time accepting everything that happened.
That's fair.
Trust me, I didn't want it to happen, but unfortunately, with how severe things were, it could have been. I don't think anything any different would have happened to us. Maybe all I can really say is that if maybe it was somebody like me, somebody who's not really known or is, you know, a nobody, maybe I would have been 6 feet under immediately. Just for being there in terms of guilty by association. But I think at the end of the day, maybe your separation from HOA was probably the best idea. Maybe
Yeah, I
it
agree.
truly was time for you to go on a new adventure. Maybe it was time for you to progress somewhere else somehow. Whatever you decide to do. But for now, I just needed to get this off my chest. And clearly, I had a lot that I needed to get off.
I'll tell you what, Simon. The 6 months that I was feeling that way in the HOA, I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't getting better at anything. I wasn't learning anything. I wasn't doing anything. And during that 1-2 weeks of fucking chaos, right before I got kicked out, even after, I am learning so much more than I'd ever learned in the last 6 months of the HOA. And I think if I was still HOA today, I still wouldn't have learned anything. We learn from our mistakes, Simon, and I've come to accept that. And like I said, would I go to that meeting with Miguel and Snow again? Yeah, I would. I just wouldn't fucking tell Andi. Oh yeah, Simon, did I tell you that she was going on dates with my ex-fiance?
Dates?
Yeah. I'll tell you that.
I don't think that's true. What makes you say that?
Because I was told.
By who?
I think it was Patty. Or someone, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was Patty.
I don't know
Yeah,
about that
so
one.
do you think she would have liked it if I post her divorce with Denzel? Do you think she would have liked it if I had, gotten buddy-buddy with Denzel and had him consider adopting me as Lilith... What's his surname? Williams?
Williams?
Lilith Williams? Yeah, I don't think she would have appreciated that.
To be honest, I don't even think Denzel would have done it.
No,
Regardless.
no, of course he wouldn't have, but like...
Seriously, I don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, right?
I get what you're saying, but I think you're pushing it too much now.
Am I?
Yeah.
Why? They're both terrorists?
No, it's the fact that it still brings Ant into the equation.
Hey, what do you mean? I'm saying that I didn't get buddy-buddy with her ex, like she did with mine. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know what the relationship is. It's none of my business, I guess, at the end of the day. Like, I worry about what's going on within the group, not what's going on outside of it, so.
Yeah, I hope that shit gets ironed out.
All I can say, Lilith, is that I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. And, you know, I wish you nothing but the best. But I don't know when. I honestly don't know, like, how or when I'll be able to speak to you again after this.
Yeah, I didn't expect any of you guys to, honestly.
It's still a lot for me to take in. It's still a lot for me to understand and cope with. Maybe not as much for you, but you know, maybe one day things will change. But for now,
Yeah.
I think it's best that we just kind of, you know, do what's happened and just go our separate ways.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And I hope shit works out for you guys. I really hope it does. Because Sis worked hard for years. And it would suck if it fell.
I don't think it will.
You don't think the HOA will get fixed?
No, I do. I'm just saying I don't think it'll fall.
Oh. I was gonna say, I was like, oh, Jesus.
I think you just misheard what you were asking or what you were saying. At least from my point of view. No, I don't think. I think right now things are fine. It's just, I think obviously, you know, like myself, I can't really be around very much right now.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, it's been pretty good. It's been a good break mentally. And I think that, you know, eventually things will be fine. It's just, obviously, I don't see anything falling apart.
Mm.
Anyway, I guess I better go now.
Listen, Simon, if you decide after this, if you hate me, that's, you know, by all means. But I'm glad I'm not HOA anymore because I could not fucking stand Andi being in charge for a second longer. I'm sorry, Simon.
And that's your choice, and that's fine.
I am right. I was ride and die with the HOA, but if I was gonna die with the HOA, I'm not gonna die the way she's fucking killing it. Appreciate you, Simon. Ooh, he did a pull. I think if that was Tom, I think Tom would have pulled. Maybe. Simon's still mine. I'm not by a car yet. There's still time. For him to broom my ass. I'm scared.
Wee.
Any snipers in the distance? Michael Simone, Nick, Julio. Oh, God, Julio pops out of the bush. Hey, stay safe, man. That wasn't even a nice note. Sounded pretty nice to me. That's a good one. I don't think Lilith has a reply for Simon. Alright. Post-meeting thoughts. Like Lilith said, she still cares a lot about the HOA. But she don't fuck with Andi. Not anymore. She tried. Yeah, I noticed that. Lilith always asks, like, well, what have you heard then? Like, what bullshit have you been fed by whoever? And they never answer. And like Lilith would have done things very differently, but she would have done the same things just differently. Someone had to fucking do something to Michael, and like, I don't know, man. Roleplay that has consequences, especially bad consequences, I love them. I think a lot of people forget that there is a very big line between OOC and in character. And I love, like, Lilith doing all of this shit has been some of the best RP I've had in, like, over a year. So I don't mind dragging my character through the mud and having her make mistakes and having people hate her if it means it brings roleplay to other people and myself. You know, like, if everything is rainbows and sunshine all the time, that's so fucking boring. If you don't get to roleplay your character crying or screaming from time to time, it gets so boring. My character is flawed. She's human. I don't know why there's this weird thing on the server about having to be perfect. Yeah, you gotta have some rain. Sometimes you're gonna have a bit of a thunderstorm. Yeah, PK, I was honestly going back and forth for a while about whether or not I wanted it to be like a really bittersweet ending, or that, and I chose that. I don't like ending RP scenarios on a full stop. I think I don't always get to do it, but if I have the opportunity to do so, where I can lead a scenario to possibly be something more in the future, I will always do that. Because when Simon was like, oh, I don't know when we'll talk again or whatever, I'm giving you a reason to later, buddy. I'ma say some shit to make you talk to me sometime maybe in the future. And seriously, chat, I should not have to fucking say this, but Jesus Christ. It's RP. Kiva has done so fucking much with Andi for the HOA and everything, like, bro. She is a critical core member. Leader. And I've said this even when Lilith was HOA, that Lilith and Andi are very similar in a lot of ways. And that's probably the reason why they butt heads so much, because they are both so fucking stubborn and want to, like, do things for others. Yeah, exactly. There's a reason Sis chose her as number 2. And it sucks that we as roleplayers have to, like, make a big statement afterwards being like, yo, much love to this person. Just because our characters have beef, you know? Like, my god.
Hello, hello, hello. Alright, do you know why I pulled you over?
I just came out of a bit of an emotional meeting and I'm kind of in my feelings. And when I'm in my feelings, I like to go fast. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm in my feelings too today. I'm in my best emo phase. I'll run you details and I'll come back to you, okay? Lilith, here's your identification back.
Thank
I'm gonna let
you.
you off with a warning today, okay? You need to slow it down and be careful. Right.
I will.
I know being in your feelings makes you want to drive really fast in straight lines and
Yeah.
have the wind through your hair and just be with your thoughts, but you have to be careful, okay? You could be seriously dangerous, alright?
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
You're free to go, but slow it down, okay?
Okay, I will. Like, God, I love role-playing with Kiva, man. And that sucks I don't get to anymore. But I'm sure someday in the future, we will get to again. And like I said, but like Lilith said to Simon, it's like, God, maybe in 6 months, Lilith and Andi will be best friends. Like, who fucking knows? Like, I, Lozdog, know that Kiva, who plays Andi Jones, was fucking amazing amazing for the HOA. And for the server, like, shit. Oh my god. I don't even need to say this, and it's so annoying that I have to. Just because my character doesn't like hers. Ah!